Cattle and trees go really well together. Cattle are traditionally a woodland animal and would have naturally spent a lot of their time in amongst shade and shelter, as well as in some open glade areas. You can use existing woodland to introduce yourself to the idea of integrating livestock with trees. They can provide a really excellent source of shelter for when we have extreme weather events. This can really help by maintaining an optimal body temperature. This is really key when you're looking at the profitability of livestock. There's also other benefits to additional feed and browse for livestock, including lots of minerals and vitamins and proteins that aren't normally available in grasses. Trees can also help livestock to exhibit their natural behaviour and can really help de-stress them and make them far more comfortable with their surroundings.
The cows kind of told me that they wanted to be in there. Every time we had a storm and there was a branch come over the fence, you would see all the cows around the branch, foraging on it. And then we had the hot summer in 2023 and the cows were suffering in the heat. We could tell they weren't happy. They were, just in open ground and they needed some shelter. So we thought, let's do it. Let's put them in and see how they do. The cows, once we put them in the woodland, the way they use it, straight away the first thing we noticed was they love scratching on the trees in there, and the foraging that they do. They're wallowing in areas, so they're sleeping in there. So on a night time, they'll be going into the woods, and then we come up in the morning to check on them, and they're all still up there in the woodland. The changes we've seen in the cows since going into the woodland, they're way happier. They've got enrichment from the trees. You can see that that's where the cows want to be. It's become their home, the woods. When they're out in the field, the cows are much more spread out. But when they're in the woodland, they kind of seem to be together, so there's maybe a social aspect there as well. You can see, sometimes if they get shut into the woodland, the cows are there waiting for it to be opened and let in. It's a shelter belt, wasn't really used for much. It's about 30 years old. It's had a bit of storm damage over the years, and it's in two halves. One half's predominantly softwoods, and the other half's predominantly hardwoods. The way it was planted is kind of rigging furrow, so it's kind of mounded up where the trees are planted, all in kind of linear, straight lines. Because it's a man-made woodland, we'd have to manage it to make it a healthy habitat. Thin the trees ourselves, but because the cows are in there, scratching on the trees, knocking them over, the cows are doing that job for us. So they're disturbing the ground, creating areas for other species to colonise, and turn it into a healthy woodland habitat. I would say if you're a landowner thinking about doing a similar thing, we had concerns, we had worries. We didn't know how the cows were going to react. We didn't know how they would fare in there. I would say if you've got a woodland that's fenced off and the trees are at a suitable size, I would say go for it. Let the cows in.